Hi everybody, welcome to the webinar. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Marqui. But before we get into that, I have a little bit of housekeeping to do just to get everybody on the same page. So if you haven't used GoToWebinar before, it's a fairly simple program to manage. The real important things about the interface are that little red icon up at the top. You can use that to hide the GoTo interface. That'll move it out of the way, and you'll be able to see the slides. And then throughout the presentation, if you have any questions or want anything clarified, just fire it off into that questions box down at the bottom. You can open it using the little plus-minus toggle there. And at the end of the webinar, I've allotted some time for a little bit of Q&A, so I'll be able to address your questions then. I'm hoping to keep this nice and short, not take up more than 20-25 minutes of your time, but we'll see how we're doing when we get to the Q&A. So, before I start telling you all about us, I want to talk a little bit about you. So primarily, how did you get here? Marqui, as you may or may not know, is a tool, a platform, functionally, to support marketers in creating content and to use that content, whether it's web, email, multi-channel, whatever your content, wherever it lives, you can use it in Marqui to reach out to your audience, to engage with them, and to track the behaviors that they go through. So we used Marqui to help us reach out to you and bring you to the webinar. So, whether you're an existing Marqui client, you're looking for a little bit of a refresher, you're someone in our subscriber database, maybe you've subscribed to our newsletter, regardless of how you've entered into the system, you probably got an email from us that led you to the landing page to register for the webinar. You might have gotten a reminder email. And this is just the very beginning. This is our first webinar of the year, and we've got a lot of really great content planned for the rest of 2014. And so I'll talk a little bit at the end about what that means for you and how we're going to use Marqui to communicate with you, just to give you an idea of how we work. We're really big on transparency here, especially around marketing. So let's talk about me. My name is Adam Coble. I'm the manager of digital services here at Marqui. I've been with the organization since 2007, so quite a while now. And I've been a part of a handful of different teams. I've had the great benefit of being able to move around a lot at Marqui. So I've seen the client success side. I've seen some account management. I've worked with our clients directly. Some strategy and execution, but what I'm primarily focused on right now is our digital services department. So that means, when we get a new client, I'm responsible for preparing them to use Marqui to meet those marketing goals that they come to us with. I do training, I do the onboarding process, and a lot of strategic and campaign execution services. And I'll talk a little bit about digital services and some of the sort of non-software stuff that Marqui offers a little bit later. But just to give you an idea of my credentials, that's my story. So this is just a quick agenda of kind of what's on the board. I want to give you an idea of the company profile, some of the basic stuff. Talk a little bit about our approach to CMS, what we call the service-enriched CMS. Talk about our focus, about how we're all about marketing and marketers. Go through a little bit about the process of how we engage with our clients, the tool set that we offer, and then I'll give you some actual real-life examples of clients and what we've done to help them really excel in the web marketing space. And the idea behind this presentation ultimately is a sort of get to know you. It's an introduction to who Marqui is, but also I'm hoping that it'll light a bit of a fire in your brain, that you'll have some ideas coming out of the presentation about content management, about web marketing that maybe you didn't have before. That will stoke some curiosity in you. Again, if you have questions throughout the process, just fire them into the box. We'll talk about them at the QA. And then, like I mentioned, at the very end, I'm going to go over what one of our campaigns looks like, how we've structured the webinar invitation through the lead nurturing process. So you'll have an idea of what's going to come next for Marqui. We'll give you a little bit of a look behind the scenes. So just to give you the 30-second profile, Marqui's been in the CMS space for a long time. We've been at this game for just over a decade, and we've always been in the CMS space, and as that space has evolved, we've evolved with it, both as a company and as an offer of software. So we started off very much focused on being a really great tool for building websites. And you'll see some of our oldest clients, our longest standing clients, they've had a website on Marqui for almost that long. But as the space has grown, as web marketers' needs have evolved, we've evolved too. So the Marqui software, the Marqui services offering now encompasses things like email, multi-channel marketing, drip emails, lead nurturing protocols. There's a whole lot more stuff to Marqui than there was back in 2002. We're headquartered here in Vancouver, so if anyone in the audience is also in Vancouver, I hope you're enjoying the rain. We've always been here in Vancouver, obviously because it's a gorgeous city. The tech industry, especially now, is booming, but because of the way we offer the software, because we're software as a service, there's no complicated installations or anything. We can serve customers throughout the whole world. So we've got lots of clients, here, obviously in Canada, in Toronto, all throughout the United States, and some overseas customers as well. So if you're thinking, Marqui is Vancouver-centric, we are. This is where our home is, but we can serve anyone, anywhere. And part of the reason why I talk about, where we're headquartered, it's important to us because Marqui is in-house across the board, from the ground up. So everything that we do is done here. There's no one in the organization, whether they're tech support, whether they're product developer, the CEO, everybody is within walking distance of my desk. And we believe that gives us an integrated philosophy on the way that the culture works here at Marqui. So, it makes everyone that works at Marqui, everyone that you talk to, a real expert on the software. We've all got hands-on experience using it. And that allows us to leverage what we call the service-enriched CMS philosophy. So I'll unpack that a little bit more later, but the general idea is that we march to a bit of a different drum here at Marqui. We believe that the real value in a piece of software isn't so much a feature list, though those are good to have. It's well-supported users. It's users who are well-trained, well-supported, backed by additional services, and they become, by way of those things, real superhuman marketers. And we'll talk about that a little bit on a future slide. But service-enriched CMS is our jam. And, that gives us a client success outlook. For us, the flat line of it is, the bottom line is that our customers' success is how we determine our own success. And you'll find that informs the whole process for us. And so, as the client base will show, we've got a solution for digital marketing, for marketers in all verticals. And it doesn't matter if you're a team of 1 or a team of 50, Marqui can adapt, and we'll talk about that again when we get to the software bit. This is our philosophy of CMS. It's real simple. Marqui approaches content management and digital marketing in three main ways. First of all, at the core is our software, the Marqui software platform. It's a CMS, a content management system, designed specifically for marketers. From day one, that's our target audience. The people who are going to be logging in, creating that content themselves, we want to empower those people. And it allows them to create and manage content easily, to communicate with their audience, and track response on that content really easily. It doesn't require a lot of technical knowledge. It's fast, it's powerful, and it's adaptable. And obviously, if you're really interested in looking at that feature set, seeing some of that data, you can go to our website, the product section of the site. Something else I wanted to talk about here is the next sort of big section is our support section. Support is where we address that concept that a tool is only as good as the people that use it. And we pride ourselves on a really deep, detailed onboarding process for every single customer. And we're very hands-on here at Marqui. So by the time a new project goes to launch, by the time we turn Marqui over to a new customer, we've trained them with a customized certification process. The user is as much of an expert as is humanly possible right from the get-go. And then our support team is a huge point of pride for us. They consistently rank in the top percentile for client satisfaction on every survey that we've ever processed, and they're there to provide both technical support, as you would expect on the software, but also strategic support around best practices, around execution, and we have that strength because we embody that marketing fever, right? And it's all the way from the tech support staff up through every part of the organization. So our clients can feel reassured that they've got the support that they need. And then to supplement both of those things, we have the services component. And so services in Marqui really address the fact that no matter how well-trained or well-intentioned a marketing team might be, there's still only 7 days in the week. And this is where the service enrichment kicks in, is that we offer a suite of professional services to supplement that, design, content engineering, strategic services, SEO analysis. All of that stuff is done in-house and with a Marqui setup in mind. And so, the idea is that, you may be a really ambitious marketer and you may have a great grasp on how the software works, but you may not have the time or the expertise to execute every plan yourself. And so we offer support in the way of services to back that up. And so the combination of these three really make up our approach to CMS. So as you can see, content management in Marqui is more than just software. I wanted to talk a little bit about that marketing focus that I mentioned before. And not just marketing as a discipline, but marketers as human beings. Our ultimate goal is to create empowered marketers by way of the software, by way of the support and the services. And the idea is that while many CMS solutions are targeted towards teams traditionally oriented towards technology, teams that traditionally would manage things like the webmaster or the IT team, things like that, we go after the marketer. We know that the real user is in the marketing department. And so, what we can do to address that is build the software from the ground up with that in mind. So, the services build a strong foundation for our users. We can design content, we can build it, we can execute campaigns for our users if they are on a small team or if they find that they're in a crunch. We provide that kind of strategic backup, that kind of support services. Again, every aspect of our business is oriented towards a successful marketer, right, using Marqui. And the software supports them in that goal as well. So, whether you're just getting started, you're building web content, you're creating landing pages, or if you're a little more advanced, you've started to integrate your web campaigns and your email campaigns, or you're doing multi-channel, you've got the whole run of marketing activities driving back to your website. No matter where you are in that process, no matter how ambitious you are as a marketer, Marqui has tools to support you. Our process for getting a new customer on board, for training a new client, looks a little like this. Again, we break it down into three sort of major components. Training and onboarding is huge. Building that stable foundation for users, it's the first stage in the launch of any new client, whether they're building an entire website, launching a new email campaign, or just getting started on a new branch of their online marketing. Creating that understanding of their skill set, the strengths of their team, and engineering a customized training program for them. So the idea is to create a client that is empowered to use the software and hits the ground running. I've talked about that a little bit. The software itself is there for that mid-stage process. We're constantly testing it, implementing new features, and because of that in-house outlook, that on-demand sort of agility-based setup that we've got, we're able to provide at the very basic level free upgrades to the software. So when we improve Marqui, when we make something new for it, everyone gets it. If it's part of your license, you get the upgrade. And this allows us to remain agile in the space without having to re-engage the billing process or even have budgeting on the table at all. If we improve Marqui, we improve it for everyone who yet uses that feature. And we derive that roadmap, how we define the product, as much from actual use case data as from the general market. So we've got one eye on how the CMS space is evolving outside of our organization, and the other eye on how our customers, how our clients are using Marqui. So it's a product that's evolved based on actual data, on real use. And then the real goal, the ultimate point in the process here is to create, like I mentioned, to create empowered users, is to make marketers who can execute those online initiatives with speed, with precision, and with ease, right? Because if you're struggling with a tool you don't understand or a tool that's engineered for someone else, you're never going to feel like you're really getting success. And so for us, it's about creating those empowered users, for backing them up all along the way through the support and services sections, and to provide software that adapts to even their sort of loftiest goals. So, that's the philosophy we have when we approach clients. We want to make our clients the best they can be at their job. We really see ourselves as part of the team. So the software itself, Marqui as a platform, one slide's not going to do it justice. If you're interested in a really deep demo of Marqui, just visit our website. There's an opportunity there to sign up for one of our weekly live demos where we talk about the software and really get into the nitty-gritty of it. But at a high level, it's an on-demand software as a service content management platform. I know that's a lot of buzzwords for one sentence. Let me break it down a little bit. So it's offered as a service in the same way that many web applications are now. So if you're using Salesforce, if you're using Gmail, it's something that you're going to license from us and log in. So we manage all of the infrastructure, all of the uptime, the hosting, all of that stuff is handled on our end. So it's offered on demand. It's also what lets us do what I mentioned before, where we can upgrade it and we can improve the software without having to renegotiate all that stuff. It's a modular system. So it's designed to grow with our users. More often than not, we'll start with a client on one aspect of their digital marketing. They don't have the budget to do everything all at once. They don't have the expertise. They want to ease into the space. So we'll start there and we'll expand. So, you can start small with just a website. You can do a handful of landing pages. You can start with email. You can add a website. You can build on multi-channel. You can build on lead nurturing. You can start doing more complicated stuff. You can bridge in your CRM. And eventually, you'll have this full suite of tools available to you that you learn one step at a time. Now, don't get me wrong. You can jump right into the deep end with Marqui if you want to. But the point is that it's a modular system. So it adapts to what you need. And part of that, too, is the template system. So, in a lot of CMSs, you'll find that template means here's a library. Here's 10 or 15 or 20 different versions of a page. And maybe you can put your logo on the page. Maybe you can change the color of the page. But ultimately, you're stuck with where the content goes. In Marqui, the idea is that we want marketers to worry about content, not about code. And so we build templates from the ground up with our new clients. Part of the scoping process is building those templates. So not only do you have control over what your final site or landing pages or emails will look like, but you have control over the way you interface with them. What parts of that content do you need to be able to change, and in what way? Now, if you're lucky enough to have a team that includes code-savvy users, if you've got someone on your marketing team that's a HTML and JavaScript whiz, Marqui's not going to restrict them. We're not going to say, okay, you have to use this template in this way. All of the code that goes into Marqui is user accessible. So the entire template system is visible to that level of user. So we're going to adapt the system to the skills of your team. Whatever you bring to the table, Marqui's going to adapt to that as well. We offer developer training plans around getting those users familiar in Marqui and building, again, the sort of ultimate marketer based on what you are bringing to the table. There's a built-in analytics module in Marqui, so you don't have to go elsewhere to find the content that you're looking for and to analyze it. Whether you're using the email bit, the landing pages, the website, all of that stuff is integrated into the system and analyzed using the same tools. And we partner with Google Analytics to bring you those sort of low-level web analytics. So if you're looking for bounce rates, information like that, we plug right into Google Analytics. If you've never used it, really easy to get set up. If you're already using it, we can port all your historical data into a new Marqui account. Really straightforward. And what's cool about the way that the software is built is because we have that integration, we power the content with subscriber data. So, whether a person has filled out a form or you've added them manually to Marqui or they've been bridged over from your CRM system, however they get into our subscriber database, we can do automated segmentation, we can do tracking on all the behaviors that they have within the system, and we can personalize that web and email experience based on that subscriber data. So the landing page that I might get is going to be different than the landing page someone in another city or someone in a different organization or someone who hasn't visited the website as many times. You can tailor that data to get the best conversion rates. The idea is that all that data being in Marqui at once, all the analytics tools available to you, give you a real sense of results-driven marketing, which is kind of what we're about, right? We want to empower marketers to get results. So this is the obligatory logo slide. Can't get through an introduction without one. But the point here isn't to try and blow you away with a bunch of big name clients. The idea is to show that Marqui can support customers in all kinds of different organizations. So, the vertical is irrelevant to us, whether you're a higher education like Lakeland College, whether you're a B2C like Bathfitter, you're a technology company, you're a nonprofit, whatever you're doing, Marqui can adapt and build on that. So what I want to do is just take a quick look at a couple of specific examples of how Marqui has helped some of our favorite clients. And maybe you'll see in those slides something that reflects on what you're doing in digital marketing right now. So I want to show you first up Lakeland College. So these guys are a amazingly quickly growing post-secondary organization in Alberta. They got a ton of websites on the standard web. They got mobile sites. There's a lot of different stuff going into building the Lakeland web presence. Online, obviously, a huge part of their business because rural Alberta is a little bit tricky to just pop over and pay a visit. So their students spend a lot of time doing their research on the web. Their marketing team is highly driven, lots of big ambitions. But of course, like everybody in marketing, they've got a limited budget to work with. And so what we did was work with Lakeland College to build a user experience focus on their students, right? To get those students informed, to get them enrolled, and when they're enrolled, to support them through their time at Lakeland College. We built a set of new templates for them, built a new site, built in some email components, and as a result of working with Marqui, enrollment has increased 25% year over year, and over past years, their unique visits to the site have increased 98%. So just a testament to how a user experience website can help focus the marketing budget using Marqui. Again, these guys, really ambitious, new sites, new initiatives, lots of online marketing projects every year. We're really happy to have them on board, and they've really lit a fire under us. So we're just trying to keep up with these guys. So another organization that works with Marqui is the Cancer Prevention Institute of California. These are relatively new to the client family here at Marqui. They're an independent research organization. Their field is crazy competitive, and they needed a system that was flexible enough to give them ground level use of the system. So people who aren't necessarily technically advanced, but they didn't want to restrict. They have a few users, like I was talking about before, that are real experts that have that code base. So they came to us looking for a system, for templates, for a website to be able to leverage both of those skill sets equally. So, we built this website with that in mind, that they can flex their design muscles, but also the users that are focused on the content don't have to worry about getting lost or getting confused. These guys, they utilized a combination of an external design agency and our Marqui Studio services together, and we built the site for them. And now what they're running with, modern look and feel with a real powerful engine under the hood in Marqui there. So these guys, they're again a real power users, but without having to sacrifice any of that power. So this is River Rock Casino. These guys have been a client by way of the Great Canadian Casinos for some time in Marqui. We've been working with them on the web for a real long time. And they handle, above and beyond the River Rock Casino, a bunch of different properties, each with their own special marketing initiatives, each with their own site, but with a shared base of users. So they manage all these different sites on Marqui, send high volumes of email, and utilize a pretty broad base of content creators. Their previous River Rock site had kind of aged out of its usefulness. It was cluttered. The user experience didn't really reflect the fun sort of atmosphere of the resort, and so it was time to rebrand. So we worked closely with them in the early stages to sort of build up that story of what the brand in River Rock really was about, and how they wanted to express that online, bring that character to life. So we built them a site with really clear calls to action, a revised navigation, and a focus on the key business goals of the site. And their goal really here is to drive traffic to loyalty programs, to newsletter subscriptions, and of course bookings at the hotel. And so we managed to improve, once we launched the site, we improved time on site by a full 60 seconds, which might not sound like a ton, but online 60 seconds can mean life or death in the span of a conversion. And their search engine traffic as a result of SEO optimization through Marqui has improved 12%, which is a pretty big jump. So QHR Technologies, these are another relatively new client. These guys, they're again an aggressive organization, big marketing goals, very expansive. They had a need for a web marketing strategy to match up with that ambition and to perform, capable of keeping up their pace. So they came to us with a whole bunch of different websites. They had internal divisions, acquisitions, expansions that had all had their own website before they were acquired by QHR. And so the idea here was to streamline both the website and their user base. And they have this passion for integration, for having these websites, having all these email protocols belong to the same family. So leveraging the template system and our workflow and aggregation modules in Marqui, we worked with these guys to rebrand the site and to relaunch as a single unified branded entity. We're really proud of the way this site and the QHR business worked out. So this new site allows them to create content, launch it, and manage it all in one software instance, all within Marqui. And these guys, they're continuing to expand. So there's going to be advanced marketing taking place this year, CRM integration, and more companies being folded into the QHR family. And so we built this site and their Marqui instance to grow. There's room to expand. So it doesn't look, and I'm just going to take a quick check here, it doesn't look like there's any specific questions. No, looks like everybody's on track. So what I'm going to do then is talk a little bit about what's next for you guys as subscribers, as participants. So this is, again, a little look behind the scenes. You can see this is a flow diagram that I built for our webinar follow-ups. So what we can see here is that you guys are right here where this little orange arrow is. You're going to get a follow-up email, a little thanks for attending, with some information about the slides. You can place to download or review this webinar. And if you look after the thank you page here, when you signed up, you were added to a nurture campaign. So what you're going to receive over time, and obviously, like any good email marketing protocol, you can unsubscribe if you like. We hope you don't. You're going to get an invitation to sign up for our newsletter. You're going to get some highlights from our blog. We've got a really great demo video that's coming out soon that we're going to get you to come and take a look at. And then ultimately, we'd like you to come and take a look at a live demo of Marqui. Now, of course, you can bypass this whole process if you're interested. Jump to our website, hit the Contact Us page, and we can give you more information about how Marqui can work for you specifically. If you're looking for pricing information, if you'd like a one-on-one live demo of the software, we'd be happy to organize that for you. Feel free to reach out. You can reply to any of the marketing emails that we've sent. Go to our website, fill out that Contact Us form, or if you want to hear my voice again, phone number's on the slide, 604-630-3705. You can always hit me up directly or email me there, and I would be happy to chat with you. So, I hope you've learned a little bit about Marqui, even if you've been a customer a long time, or this is your first taste of the Marqui CMS and our philosophy. Hope you've learned a little bit, and that we've managed to kindle something in your brain about online marketing. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. If you're interested in learning more, just visit www.marqui.com or drop us a line.